Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from QuirkyWait7729 and it says, "Am I the arsehole here for buying my boyfriend flowers after he mentioned most men only get them when they die? Throwaway for a reason. Okay, so my boyfriend 22 male and I 21 female have been together for almost 5 months and it's been good so far. But about a week ago when I was at his apartment, he told me that most men only receive flowers when they are dead. He then went on a bit of a rant about women not caring as much as men when it comes to their partners, and then men want shows of affection too. I honestly took all this as a hint that he wanted flowers, so yesterday I went to Whole Foods and picked out all the flowers I thought he would like and put together a big bouquet for him. I also got him a coffee, some chocolates and a few other things I thought he would like. I've done things like this before, but minus the flowers. I usually put a Game Pass gift card or a Lego set, etc. I feel like this is important because I don't want anyone to think I don't show him affection or get him gifts. I definitely do. So I show up to his apartment with literally the biggest smile. I was so excited for his reaction, but when I gave him the flowers, he got a super uncomfortable look on his face and wouldn't touch or kiss me at all. I asked him what was wrong and if he liked the flowers, and he just kind of blew up at me saying that flowers are only good for apologizing and that if I cheated on him and I needed to tell him right now. I was shocked and started crying because I have never and would never cheat on anyone. He took the flowers to the kitchen and threw them in the trash, which honestly felt like a punch in the gut. He told me to get out of his apartment and that he didn't have time for cheating bitches. His words. Every time I tried to explain, he said he didn't want my excuses, and when I'm ready to tell him who the man is, then I can talk to him again. But there is not a man. I didn't cheat on him. I just thought he wanted flowers. I've never thought of flowers as just an apology. He's never gotten them for me, but I just thought he didn't like showing love that way. So I buy them for myself every week. I'm just so confused and hurt by his reaction, and I don't know what to do to fix the situation. So, am I the arsehole for buying him flowers? Do women really only buy flowers as an apology? I'm so confused. I don't know if this is one of those stories that's going to go down that projection route, because it certainly feels like it at the moment to me. The start of it where, he's basically hinting, went on a rant about women not caring as much when it comes to their partners and that men want shows of affection too. So you thoughtfully went out of your way to get him a really nice little package gift for him, and then he turns around and accuses you of cheating because of it. Major red flags right there. But in this post, the edits and the update is all in one, so the comments could be a bit all over the place, so we'll cover some comments towards the end of this one. But the first edit said, "I'm completely overwhelmed by the responses and everyone is making me realize that it's not worth my time at all. I tried to do something nice for him and he threw it back in my face. I texted him and told him that we need to talk and his response was, 'Finally ready to confess or what?' So that tells me he's done no critical thinking on his end about the situation. We're meeting for lunch tomorrow and we'll update everyone after. Thank you everyone for the kind replies and for opening my eyes to what an arsehole this guy is. I'm just glad I didn't waste years of my time." Second edit. I want to clarify a few things about my post. 1. His parents gift each other flowers regularly, so he has seen flowers given to a partner for reasons other than cheating. 2. His mother gifted him flowers for his college graduation, so he has received flowers previously, and this is not the first time. Also, I've had a few people tell me it's weird of me to gift him things like the Lego sets, etc. that I mentioned in my post. He told me at the beginning of our relationship that his love language is gift giving and he loves receiving gifts. That is why I do it. I do not think it would come across as weird in any way. I only spend around $50 each time, which is nothing for me as I have a well-paying job. I was in a relationship for 2 years previously and I gave my partner monthly gifts throughout the entire relationship, so I'm in no way trying to love bomb him. I just always want my partner to know that they are loved and appreciated. Big update everyone. His mother is asking if she can call me. What should I do? His mother loves me and is honestly an angel. I don't know what he's told her about the situation. Should I be worried? Edit again. I'm sorry for updating so many times. There's a lot happening. I'm going to take Reddit's advice and take the call from his mother. I don't think she means any harm in calling me, but if it gets hostile at all, I will hang up. I'm also considering cancelling lunch tomorrow, but it partially depends on how this phone call goes. I've also had someone suggest just sending them both the link to this post, which I am considering. Everyone's opinions on that would be appreciated. I told his mother she can call me this evening, so I will update after that as well. Then Opie said, update. Alright guys, this isn't the update any of you were expecting, or maybe it is, and it's definitely not the one I was expecting to give. But his mum called me and it was both him and his mum on the phone. I pretty quickly told them I wasn't willing to talk to both of them, but my ex-boyfriend was crying, like crying actual tears, so I listened. His mum told me he'd been talking to her about us and she wants him to talk to me with her support so he can tell me everything. He started it by telling me how he hasn't felt like I'm what he wants in a woman. I'm not willing to move in with him yet, and he's someone who only wants to date for 6 months before getting engaged, which he had not told me ever before, so this surprised me. This would mean he wants to be engaged next month, which is way too soon for me. He also told me that he has trauma around cheating because his high school girlfriend cheated on him in junior year, and you guessed it, apologized with a rose. Then he told me that he wants someone who is less career focused and someone who wants to have kids and not work. He said he thinks some of my ideals and morals are skewed, but wouldn't tell me which ones or what he meant. He also told me he realized I am a radical feminist, which I think is extreme because while yes I am a feminist, I don't hate all men or think they are all bad. I never talk badly about them to him, and I've really given him no reason to think this aside from being pro-choice. He said he can't date someone who doesn't respect him and emasculates him. He said the flowers I gave him showed him that I viewed him as feminine, and also showed that I was cheating. I told him again that I was not and have never cheated on him, and asked if he had cheated on me before. He was quiet for, I kid you not, a full 2 minutes, and then asked me to define cheating. What a bloody Burke. I asked if he had slept with someone else and he said no. I asked why he mentioned the flowers, if he thought flowers were emasculating. He said it was more about the fact that men are treated and, a quote, more as slaves than human in our society. He said it was less about him wanting flowers and more about him feeling like women aren't owed flowers. That was enough explanation on where he was coming from for me. I told him our relationship was clearly over and we don't share the same ideals. He said he was willing to work on it if I would make the changes to become wife material. I said no and hung up. So yeah, lunch is definitely cancelled and we're not together anymore. His mum didn't really say much other than she would miss me and would always care about me. I know it all seems like it was best for me. I'm heartbroken and I didn't expect our relationship to end like this. He knew I wanted to work on my career, wait to have kids, etc., and always said he was fine with it. So it seems like he changed all of his expectations suddenly. I've been non-stop crying since the call and I don't know what to think. I feel so stupid for not seeing that he was like this sooner. I just wish I never dated him. But I hope that gives some closure to everyone. I appreciate everyone's help and kind words. Thank you everyone. So a couple of the comments from this one. Live page 4633 says, not the arsehole, he is toxic. Don't go back. Think of how he's making you feel right now and how in a year or two it will feel when it happens again. Without trust, there is no relationship. By the way, in my experience, the following is true. When someone accuses you of cheating when you haven't, they're probably the one cheating. Good luck. I mean, it never quite concluded on the cheating, did it? Clearly he's done something, but it didn't define what. But clearly he'd been cheating in some way, shape or form. Green Eye Kitty says, this is insane. I've read all the updates. He wants to be engaged at 22 after max 6 months of dating, but needs his mummy to talk on the phone to his girlfriend while he sobs about his red pill feelings because a high school girlfriend cheated on him and gave him a rose. This guy needs a lot of therapy and growth before he becomes a husband and father to anyone, or even a happy person. And his whole, you need to work on being my ideal of trad wife material is fucking gross. The fact that he can't even communicate about flowers properly and then says women aren't owed flowers. Dude, he's a shitty person and partner. I'm glad you escaped him. You'll feel better in 2 weeks. It always stings the first couple of days and then you'll cry it out and get clarity. Excited for you. and I'm glad you saw through it and dumped him when you realized he wasn't right for you. I was also thinking on this one, was the mum agreeing with him? I was just sort of imagining the mum sat there next to her son and he's saying all this absolute bullshit. I wonder what she was thinking right then. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. This one's from the Bad Roommate subreddit from Dead Ships Dwell, who says, roommate justified eating my steaks by pointing out that he thought I wasn't going to eat the food anytime soon. Plus I got yelled at for touching my own food. My house has a detached garage, which has a chest freezer that I bought. The garage for us is just for storage space since the garage doorways aren't big enough for our vehicles. Anyway, last year I bought freezer beef from the butcher shop and of course stuffed it away in my chest freezer. My roommate also happens to use the chest freezer and he tends to stuff his frozen foods into it. Space tends to get limited, but we've never really had an issue. Until this incident happened. The steaks were in low supply, and I think I was down to 2 of them. Well, I planned on having some for supper, so I decided to head home from the gym to start thawing the steaks. Well, that didn't exactly get to happen, because they were already on the counter thawing. I verified that they were mine by checking the name on the seal, and yep, they belonged to me. I didn't give much thought after all. After all, I assumed my roommate was being nice to me, but I can't eat 2 ribeye steaks, so I tossed one in the fridge freezer. Roommate hears the commotion and comes down the stairs. He sees that I'm looking over the steak and just sharply asks, "What are you doing?" I look up and simply thank him for setting the steaks out for me. He gave me a look like I had kicked his dog and replies with, "This isn't charity. I have a dinner guest coming over." I was puzzled and asked why he's eating my food. And he replies with, "Because you weren't going to." I defended myself by mentioning that I ate through nearly 14 packages of steak from an entire cow in the span of 1 year, so I was definitely eating them. That didn't sway him, and so I decided I'd ignore him. And I started to cut open the seal. He screams at me, "I hope you washed your hands for touching food I'm going to eat." I replied with, "Did you buy it?" He said, "Does it matter?" I gave a sinister grin and said, "Yeah, but just a little though." Anyways, he had to explain to his dinner guest why he had to grill his own burgers versus promising a steak dinner. Lol. Overhearing their conversation, me repossessing my food makes me a tremendous dickhead. Lol. The absolute cheeky bastard to say to you this isn't a charity while he's just about to cook your food is a next level of entitlement. I'm glad you set him straight in the end. Part of me wishes that you was cooking the steak while they was eating their burgers. I'm just going to read one comment from this, which is one of my favorite insults. It's from Jennybird1, who just says, "What a cockwomble." But what do you guys make of this situation? Have you ever dealt with a roommate or a family member or someone who's stealing your food? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. I just scrolled a little bit in the Bad Roommate subreddit and there was another food-based roommate drama from Snoo Comics 27, who says roommate stole, air quotes, infused baked goods from my room and is now mad at me because she has to get tested for a job. This may be one of the most infuriating things that has ever happened to me. I've posted about my roommate before because she has the world's largest victim complex. I have never had issues with her going into my room / stealing shit. We share food with each other all the time, but always ask about it. She's a new grad nurse and I'm deferring from nursing school to help my mum while she undergoes cancer treatment. Because of this, I've only started taking edibles / smoking again over the past couple of months. My mum made some fun cookies and I put a few in a Tupperware on the top of my dresser. They were not in a common area and therefore there is no reason for me to label my cookies because they're in my room. This afternoon I get a call from my roommate and she admits to going into my room while I was gone to see if I had any sweet treats and proceeds to eat one of my cookies. She's absolutely inconsolable, cursing, sobbing, panicking. She apologized for taking something of mine without asking, but claims that we share food so often that it was irresponsible of me to not label my cookies. So I obviously just ruined her life and cost her the new ER job that she starts in about a month. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I'm crashing at my friend's house because I just cannot stand to be around her right now. I can usually squeeze out a droplet of empathy and understanding in situations like this, but I'm under so much stress right now that I am fresh out. She's truly the least self-accountable and rational person I've ever met. This is just one of those situations where actions have consequences. She literally went into your room and stole from you. And, I'd imagine this isn't the first time that she's been snooping around your room either. If for some reason you continue or you have to stay with this person, I'd certainly be looking to get a lock on your door if that's at all possible. But someone says she's making you responsible for a lack of responsibility. Going into your room to steal your goodies and then getting mad it was infused is next level diabolical. She did this to herself. Self-sabotage to the fullest. Opie says, yeah, I'm still struggling to understand how she could possibly blame anything on me. She knows I keep my dry goods in my room and intentionally stole from me, which I honestly wouldn't care that deeply about in another context. She's truly acting like I drugged her and did it on purpose, and she cannot accept the fact that it probably won't even impact her job. I think she just wants me to feel guilty. Bubbly Yak replies to that saying, dude, she went into your room. That's a bigger violation of trust and boundaries than you are recognizing, and you need to not let it go. What's to stop this bee from taking your shit? Because she's already taken your shit. But it could so easily been a non-food item, something valuable, either cash or sentimental wise. She's a thief, and a deflecting constant victim of her own making and imagination. Put a lock on your door and tell her there. That's the extent of you taking responsibility for her being a damned thief. Someone says to OP to stop enabling her, and OP says, yep, that's pretty much how every single confrontation has gone over the past year, especially throughout the last 6 months. I've gotten way less enabling, and I've had to remove myself from her life completely. And narcissism and defensiveness seeps into every aspect of her life, yet somehow she is the most compassionate nurse on earth and never puts herself first. A few days ago we got into another fight over her boyfriend leaving an unholstered gun on our living room table, right before leaving for the evening, loaded and everything, and couldn't tell if the safety was on because it was a hammer system I wasn't familiar with. He's a stupid suburban boy who has no business walking around with a fucking gun and leaving it unsecured, unholstered, and loaded in plain sight. Lets me know how trained he is with carrying firearms. I'm thinking of breaking my lease ASAP. I know I'm a Brit, so me talking about guns is pretty much invalid straight away, but that is a terrifying thought for me. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's have another story. This next story comes from Black Notebook 04, who says, I, 34 male, found a notebook my wife, 30 female, has written a whole novel detailing made-up scenarios in which she gets revenge on female friends, varying ages of mine. My wife and I met 10 years ago now, and we've been together for 8, married for 6. A bit of background is needed. My wife is a writer. She has published novels and done some freelance writing projects. I am used to having stacks of notebooks that have short stories or drabbles in them. She usually keeps these in a bookshelf in her writing room, aka study. This particular notebook was not there, but in a box in our closet under some sweaters. She also has never shown aggressive behavior or cruelty like she has written about in this book. My wife Sarah was on a trip this past weekend with her friends. They went to some spa retreat together, so I stayed home. It was bitter cold where we live and it had been snowing, so I had to shovel the driveway. I remembered a while ago that my wife had bought this insanely warm and insanely itchy mohair sweater for me that I had tucked away in our closet. I started looking through some boxes and I found this notebook buried under a bunch of old sweaters. I'd never seen it before. It was really odd to find it here because, like I said, she keeps her notebooks in her study. I was curious, so I started reading. The novel starts out with her finding a wishing stone which grants her any one wish. She makes a very specific and detailed wish to become High Queen of the entire world, with everyone reporting to her, while still allowing every nation to have their governments and rulers, but she can tweak their laws as she wishes. She ends up living in a grand palace and meets with delegates from every country to discuss the world events and to yay or nay certain rules or policies being enacted. I was enjoying the story thus far. Then she meets with the head of a Black Squad, a squad of trained assassins and kidnappers. She asks if they have the girl, and they say yes. They lead her to a room where my friend Ellen is tied to a chair, and my wife proceeds to mock her and torture her, citing how she should have stayed away from me, and tells her what a slur she is for constantly being near me, a married man. Ellen has been my friend for 15 years. She was there for me during a really rough period of my life and helped me get back on my feet, something my wife has previously admitted to resenting because apparently that bonds me to Ellen in a way that she and I will never have. I've never had any romantic feelings for Ellen. The book continues like this. She commands her Black Squad to kidnap women who have been in my life romantically and platonically. She kills off my exes after pages of psychological and physical tortures. She ruins the careers of platonic friends and makes their families shun them, drives some of them to commit suicide. The only people she doesn't target are the ones she deems have been respectful of our relationship, which according to her in this book means dressing appropriately around me, liking Facebook pictures / statuses that have both of us in it instead of just me, and keeping discussions of their personal lives to me a minimum. The notebook still has blank pages. I don't know if she updates it still or has forgotten about it. The latest entry seems to be from about a year ago because it has the name of a co-worker who was new at the time. I know she's a writer. I know people sometimes write to get out frustrations or as their own therapy, in the same way people go to the gym and punch a punching bag. But I'm honestly shocked and a bit disturbed by the things she wrote. She cut off the tongue of a friend because she stuck it out in a picture with me. She made another girl swallow a pint of liquid chilies because she had cooked me and her boyfriend, by the way, a chili chicken dinner once when Sarah was out of town. Like I said, she's never been aggressive or anything like this in real life. I feel like I'm reading a story about her evil twin. She's always been extremely docile and passive. She definitely has a jealous streak, but she always has talked about how X or Y has made her feel instead of ranting or raging. We've never had any sort of screaming match or things being thrown. I'm feeling very much at a loss right now. I don't know if I'm overreacting or making this bigger than it is. I don't even know how or if I should bring this up. I mean, okay, I feel like I should because obviously this points to a lot of pent-up aggression and anger towards these people. But just how do I even start that conversation? She's getting back today, and I'm a really bad liar, so I don't think I can hide the fact that I've read it and feel disturbed. What should I do? Debate everything, says the OP. If that's what the notebook was about, I'd probably have read it. It sucks that you found that. It's natural for people to have thoughts they would never say out loud and would never actually do. Many people show their insecurity. Some people see therapists and some people write about it. If I were you, I'd just forget you found it and write it off as a therapeutic novel. I've written some dark shit just to get it off my mind. OP says, yeah, I thought of it like that too. I used to go to the gym to vent off steam. It doesn't mean I want to go outside and beat people up. I guess if anything, should I maybe talk to her about the extremity to which these girls bother her? And a lot of people were pointing towards like sort of writing therapy angle here. Like it almost being the wife's pressure valve in this situation. But the thing with that sort of jumped out to me is that she was targeting specific things like the woman sticking her tongue out, therefore she cut it out. The woman giving him a chili. So, you know, it was a chili based torture. But whoa, that's extreme, isn't it? But I don't know. Maybe many people do that. I'd be very interested if it's something that you do. So now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. Honestly, thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.